Okay, today we're going to learn the halacha of lifnei iver l'sitan michshel. It's a lava from the Tariag mitzvahs. It's not some kind of just hanoga tova or mitzvah derabanan. It's isur deraisa. It's the pasuk lifnei iver l'sitan michshel. It's a Sefer Vayikra, chapter 19, pasuk 14. Lifnei iver l'sitan michshel v'yoresem elokecha ani Hashem. So, what's the definition of lifnei iver? Don't put a stumbling block in front of the blind. So Rashi says like this: Lifnei hasuma b'dover. We're not talking about over here only in front of somebody he is physically blind, because then it says v'yiresam elokecha. Only Hashem knows what you did to him, meaning it's not so visible. He sees. He just suma b'dover. In this Indian, he doesn't see well, and you need to help him with the eitzah. Lo titan lo eitzah shena ha'genesla. Don't give him an advice which is not good for him. For an example. Al toimar mechoir sodcha v'kach chachamoir. You tell a person, I recommend you to sell your field now. It's not a good season for fields. It's not so profitable. And go buy a donkey. Today would be go sell your house and put the money in the stock market. The housing is not doing so well. He says, and you don't really mean for him, but you want v'ato oikef olav. But no, and you send a friend, go buy the house for me, he's saying. So you're really scamming him. You don't giving him a good advice. That's called lifnei iver. The man is blind, meaning he doesn't see really the way you see things. He believes you, you're giving him an advice, and you're really hurting him. So that's lifnei iver. Now, this mitzvah, that's what it says, people would not know maybe what you did. Hashem knows, so you make sure when you give an advice, an honest advice, for the benefit of the person you're giving the advice. Now, this mitzvah, it's all over in different places in Shas. There's a lot of details to it. I'm going to bring first the concepts from the Gemara, and then we'll see how, in a practical way, it applies to us today. But the Gemara really talking about, it's kimat not practical. In the Gemara Avodah Zarah, Daf Yud Gimel Amud Beis, the Gemara brings, Elu Dvorim she Asurim Limkor Lo'ovet Kechovim. The Gemara talks about over there, before their Chagas, you're not allowed to sell a Nochri or Ovet Kechovim, certain thing, because he's going to directly go use it for his Avodah Zarah. Like I said, today it's almost not Shayach, because the Ramah in the Erecham Kufnan Vav says today most Nochrim are not of the Zorah. But at the time of Chazal, they were very popular with the Zorah. And the Mele with a lot of restrictions. That's the whole Masechus of the Zorah. A lot of the halachas talks about what you're not allowed to do before their holidays, because they might take what you're selling them and use it directly for Avodah Zarah, and that's Avera Lifnei Iver. You're putting a stumbling block in front of a blind, because he's by the goy is Osur Avodah Zarah, one of the Shabbat mitzvahs B'nai Noach. When you sell him something, let's say sell him an animal, and he took it directly, brought it a sacrifice for his Avodah Zarah, you over Lifnei Iver. Oh, so one of the things the Gemara brings over there, you're not allowed to sell him levoina. Levoina is one of the 11 spices that were brought in for the Ketores, and
frankincense.
yeah, and the time of Chazal, a lot of goyim used to use the levoina to bring Avodah Zarah, Ketores for their Avodah Zarah. So that's you're not allowed to sell them because they're going to go directly take it to do Avodah Zarah. However, the Gemara brings Tonem, umikulon moichlim lam chavila. However, you cannot sell a small amount because that's going straight. He buys it for Avodah Zarah. But if you sell him a big amount, you're allowed. The kama chavila pirshu Rav Yehuda ben Beseira and chavila pchusa mishloisha monin. Oh, and Rashi explains why you're allowed to sell in a bulk amount, because bulk amount usually they don't buy to bring as a sacrifice to the Avodah Zarah. They buy it for business. They buy it to resell it. To the Mela, if you're buying it to resell it, you're allowed. Because I mean, the buyer buying it is not going to Avodah Zarah directly. You're not over lifnei iver. It's a business. Oh, the Gemara asks, maybe the person you're selling to, maybe Stephen, the buyer, going to go and sell it to the Avodah Zarah. The Gemara says, Omar, that's very important. The kud over here, Omar Abai, alifnei mafkidinon, alifnei delifnei lo mafkidinon. Say like this. Mafkidinon maybe the proper dignity would be. Anyway, the point is like this. Lifnei iver, we have a issue to do. Don't go directly to sell something to somebody that's going to make aware of that directly. If I sell it to a wholesaler and he's going to go sell it to them, that's already, we have no problem at all to do that. I don't know who's going to sell it to. He might sell it to them. I'm not mechuyav to take such a precaution. 2 steps precaution. Lifnei the lifnei iver, front of the blind. I sold it to them. He could sell it to anybody. He might sell it to them, and that's not my problem. Oh. So now, how this halacha would translate today? So I'll tell you one example. I'll give you Gabe Hilchas Shabbos. Let's say somebody in the car rental business. And somebody coming on Friday, and that's dafka not by a nochri. If a nochri comes to rent a car for Friday, and you know in the drive on Shabbos, he's allowed to drive on Shabbos. You're not doing any issue. You have a problem over there with Schar Shabbos. So we had a shiur about this. Let's say Eitzah for that. For him would be a problem because you're making money on Shabbos. You're renting him a car for Shabbos, and you're making money, you're not allowed to do it as the seller, as the renter over here. So the eights over there, again, it's I'm bringing this. It's not going to get to us today. You do it, maybe you do it b'havla, maybe you give it them a weekend rate for Friday, Shabbos, Sunday. Mimela b'havla, you're allowed to do it. Renting a car for Shabbos for a nochri, for him it's not a problem. If even it's not shaykh, but for you it's a problem because you're doing schar Shabbos. However, what happened is the other way around. You're renting a car to somebody you know is not a Shomer Shabbos, and he's going to drive on Shabbos. I'll be this Iver, you're not allowed to rent him the car Friday late because if you know for sure he's going to drive on Shabbos because you over Lifnei Iver. Besides Char Shabbos, you have a problem. You over Lifnei Iver.
But if you rent house to somebody who's not keep Shabbos.
Oh, that's something else. That's something else. He's there the whole time. That's not. Okay, I'm going to bring another example, which is a lot of people today in Kiruv, and they think Hutra. It's all become mutter because the Gemara says Chalal Shabbos Achas Kedash Shmur Shabbos Harbe. Somebody Chad Shalom is Pekuach Nefesh. You say take him to the hospital, do all Chilul Shabbos for him. Mechal one Shabbos he should be alive, keep many Shabbos. Okay, you don't say this in Kiru, meaning if somebody does something for sure he knows people are gonna Mechalal Shabbos for sure, and the whole setup in such a way that people are gonna come Mechal Shabbos to come to him on Shabbos. And he does, I'm doing for Kiruv. No, you over Lifnei Iver. You cannot do. Now, if you have, Lamoshel, you do a bar mitzvah, and you invite everybody, it's on Shabbos, and you know one person might drive, it's not your problem, you didn't do. But if you know the whole setup in such a way that people are going to Mechalal Shabbos over there, you over Lifnei Iver. So all I'm saying is people before they, like I said, it's people like don't even think about this. You have to, before you do things of that nature, you have to consult a lot of details over here. And a lot of times you're not allowed to do things. And it's not like, today for Kiruv we're allowed to. No, we're not allowed to do Kiruv through a Isur. No, we're not doing any Kiruv. Kiruv to be done al Torah, but derech hamuta, but derech hakosher. Now, one of the examples the Rambam brings, the Gabbat Lefnei Iver, again, some of it could be practical. Also, Limkol Ovid Kam Klei Milchama. You're selling them a weapon. A lot of dealers today selling weapon to many armies, many countries. So it says you're not allowed to do it because they're buying it for killing. So you over from either. However, where is the heter when you could do it? So one of the Teirim says, if you live in that country, let's say somebody lives in Ukraine, and you know that the Ukrainian government protects everybody who lives over there. You're allowed to sell, if you live over there, a weapon to Ukrainian government because you're selling them to protect you. It's for protection. Protection. To go to sell for killing, you know what drug that you're not allowed to do.
They have to kill the Russians to protect
them. Now, if vice versa, if somebody lives in Russia and he wants to sell a weapon to Ukraine, that would be also for him. Besides Easter, you have to worry for Putin getting a hold of him. but you meaning with the country you live in, you're allowed to sell for protection. But if you know for sure somebody buying a weapon and he's going to use it not for protection, for killing, that's okay. There's a lot. Again, those details are not so practical, but the practical details, like I said, making sure when you give an eitzah, don't give eitzah that's good for you and bad for him. That's definitely either. Make sure to give an eitzah again slow, appropriate eitzah for the person you're giving, the best you can. But yeah. Then there's another Inyan over here. It says over here, Daniel was punished because he gave an eitzah to Nebuchadnezzar, Russia. Nebuchadnezzar asked him, he knew there was a decree from Hashem against Nebuchadnezzar. And Nebuchadnezzar asked Daniel, he was his advisor, what should I do, how to... He said, but tzedakah proik. The Gemara says he was punished for it. It says, through tzedakah, even to a Russia, give him such an eitzah, how to sweeten the dinim on him, to get away a little bit. You know, he got away for 12 months only, not for the rest of his life. But the Gemara says Daniel was punished. So also to give somebody a Russia eitzah, to protect himself even from the din shmaya, that we're not allowed to do. So the mice again, the main mitzvah of lifnei iver, which is very very practical, doing many things. Like I said, doing meals Shabbosim and inviting people, doing bar mitzvah. You have to know that it's been in such a way ba'ofen amuter. And again, that inyan of today for outreach will not matter anything against Torah. Absolutely, you cannot do a mitzvah ba'avera. So and so we have to be very, very careful what we do such a thing. Consult somebody Yedaya 7 knows the halacha, and take it with koyva drosh, because a lot of times things done in such a way we could be over lifnei iver. Especially when you give eitzahs, make sure the eitzah is not good for you; it's good for the person you're giving the eitzah. Okay.